songs. I feel like a star, but only strictly where I'm famous. I'm in this for the longest haul, like we'll see where it takes us. I'm throwing back these double shots like whiskey here is weightless. Cause this career I chose was even riskier than Vegas, yo.
Oh, hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of the Colby Rebel Show. I am your host, Colby Rebel. I am so excited for tonight. This is beyond a special treat that I have in store for you. It's a really special story and a special journey, and really a very special guest. But before we get started, I want to give you a couple heads up for some events. As you know, last week I had Joe Shield on, Spirit Artist, and tomorrow night is our big event, Love and Messages, an evening of spirit. There's only a few tickets left. So if you are interested, please be sure to grab your ticket. They are almost sold out, but we are so excited about it. We've been chatting about it all week. And additionally, the circles start next week. Okay. So those development circles, kind of get those gifts strengthened. If you're in the advanced, that starts next Tuesday night. And the beginners will start Wednesday night. So please be sure, if you want to get in, that you go ahead and sign up. So, let me tell you about our guest tonight. So, I came across her kind of accidentally, and I was just, you know how it is, right, guys? Spirit steps in, and Spirit's like, this right now, do this right now. And I was so inspired by her, and I know Spirit was inspired, that they had me reach out to her. She's amazing and she's beautiful, and she's just so humble and really has this amazing power and this her own intuitive gift really in what she does. So I really wanted to ask her on, and I had that connection. As many of you know, I used to be a professional fitness model, so it's very near and dear to my own heart. So my guest is Justine Switalla. She is a health and fitness expert. She is the founder of Fit Health Moms, and her brand is her business. She is just so passionate about helping you really live your best life and really owning who you are. And a lot of that is through fitness and weight loss and really this that overall mindset. And so, with that, I want to please put a warm welcome out there to Justine Switalla. Hello, Justine.
Hello. Hi.
Hi. How are you?
I'm great, thank you. Thank you so much for having me on your show and the most beautiful introduction.
Oh, I am just so excited to have you and talk to you. As you know, I reached out to you a few weeks ago, really, because you kind of had wrote this story, and it was very empowering. It was vulnerable, it was empowering, and I just kind of realized there's a journey bigger than we realize that we all go through. This transformation is on so many levels, and I thought, you absolutely know about this, and it's like I wanted you to share that. So, why don't you, tell us a little bit about, how did you get into the fitness industry first of all?
Sure. Well, I've always had a passion for fitness. I grew up playing sport as a child and I loved dancing. I loved being on stage. I loved being active. I went overseas for about 6 years and ended up in Australia, in Melbourne. And I was a dental nurse, could you believe? And I was really unhappy with the 9 to 5 grind and being, stuck in that Monday to Friday sort of working week, as I felt like there was more for me. And so I ventured into the fitness industry back then, started out as a receptionist in a gym. Then I went on to group fitness teaching and personal training. I was a manager of a gym at one time. And then I started competing, and I don't know what happened. I guess it was just alignment. And I was so passionate about the industry, and I just kept doing really well at whatever I set my mind to. And I loved it. I didn't feel like I was working like at all. It just felt like I was living my best life, and for many years I trained people. And it wasn't until I had my son 7 years ago that I moved my business completely online so I could help women still, but be at home with my son. So it's been a real journey, a real adventure, lots of highs, lots of lows, and yeah, a real journey to self discovery as well, which is what I think we're here to talk about today, which is really cool.
Yeah, I absolutely love it because, you are so successful and clearly connect to so many women around the world. You are in Christchurch, New Zealand, correct? Right? And
Yeah.
as many of my listeners know, I have been to New Zealand a couple of times and I absolutely love it there. Cannot
Yeah.
wait to return. So next time we're going to meet in person. But I saw this one post where 2020 was hard. I think you had a little bit of a period where things weren't so healthy. Do you mind just sharing that and talking about that with the listeners?
Absolutely. So I guess, a bit of a backstory. I went through in Melbourne before I moved back to New Zealand. So I moved back to New Zealand just before COVID hit, not because of COVID. I actually consciously made the decision to move, and the universe had my back because we got back, me and my son, and everything worked perfect. And then we went into lockdown here. But back in 2019, I fractured my foot when I was out at a nightclub dancing, being silly, and it set me back physically. I couldn't walk for 8 weeks. I was in plaster. I nearly needed surgery. It was a roller coaster for me, for someone who uses their body as their work. And physically, I couldn't do the things that I love to do, that I needed to do for my work, my business. And I lost a lot of my confidence, my motivation. And that was the beginning of a real transformation for me. And that's when things go wrong, it's always you take one road. It's either you dive down or you rise up, and those dive downs can be for long periods of time. I believe that 2019 into 2020, and then all of 2020 was that downtime for me. I lost my confidence. I had some complications with some surgery that happened last year with my implants, and I had to get them out. And I just felt like I was getting thrown all these physical things that were out of my control, that were hindering me from being able to do the things that I love. But that gave me the opportunity to focus on, I guess, the things that I needed to work on, that I thought I had together, but quite clearly my emotional and mental health wasn't quite where I needed it to be. To really soar as a fitness and health expert, women's health expert, holistic health coach, like all of the things that I sort of see myself as now. But during that time, I started becoming reliant on red wine, and I was hiding away. I felt very alone and unsupported, and I had people around me. Don't get me wrong, but I was in my head, and I just would sit down and have a couple glasses here or there. Like, it wasn't like a bottle a night or anything. It was just something that I was using to help me with my stress and my sadness, my grieving. And it got to the point where last year it just got worse, and I wasn't who I was, who I knew I could be. I was out of alignment, and I made the decision on Boxing Day 2020 to stop drinking, and I haven't had a drink since. And the transformation in the last, it's been 6 weeks, has been massive. It's been huge. I've literally transformed my business model, my mental emotional health, my messages, my writing, my clarity, my sleeping, my stress, the list goes on. It's been life changing. Thank
I
you.
you needed a round of applause for that because that does take a huge amount of courage to, face that, right?
Mm, mm,
Face that in your own personal world, but then courage to share that story. But we always spirit gives us these challenges, right? They give us these experiences. And I really do feel like, Justine, they are given to us to allow us to help others in a new capacity and in a new way. And, that may have definitely been a step back, but it certainly allowed you to kind of peel away the layers and spirit to kind of put you in a position to help other people in the same kind of way that you may not have necessarily recognized before, right? Don't you think like now you'll recognize this in some of your potential clients?
Yes, absolutely. I was justifying what I was doing behind closed doors, and that means that I was allowing other women that I work with or to do the same. And I don't have any judgment, and everyone's on their own journeys and paths, but I feel like with women, we are standing in our own ways, and I was literally it's a form of self sabotage, really, because I was dimming my light to conform and to stay low and to keep myself in the shadows, really, and a lot of women don't realize, I guess, what they're doing. They're not quite there yet, or ready to take that leap of faith. And you'll understand this, Colby, is like as a healer or a coach we go through these like life changing moments, the growth, the lows, to then share and help others. And I believe that's been the story of my life with, becoming a single mom and then breaking my foot and then the implants and now the alcohol. So I've got a big back history of pain that I've worked through. Like I've spoken to a psychologist. I've done spiritual healing for 7 years. I've done Reiki, body healing, energy healing. I've invested a lot of time and effort and energy into myself, my physical body, my emotional body, my spiritual body, because I didn't see any other way, and now I want to be able to offer that to other women. So
Do you feel like you're going to use this experience to teach others, maybe to write a book, to kind of take it to a whole new level?
yeah, writing a book, I think that yeah, it's
You're
probably
like,
not in.
easy, Colby, easy.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. No, it's funny because I feel like I could. There's a lot that I could write about, and I feel like in the next 5 to 10 years that could definitely happen. I want to build my online business back up to where it was, because 2 years prior to 2021, I slumped and I wasn't confident enough to really speak my truth. And now I'm ready to step back onto my platform and empower and assist other women and grow my business and empower women from all around the world, because my business is all online. And my partner is going to build a gym for me in my backyard, so I can get some clients here in Christchurch and train people from home, and have that physical connection as well, because I'm an extrovert. I need to be around people. So we've got lots of plans for 2021. I haven't looked back, honestly. It's been the most invigorating, scary, but amazing time and then to be able to share this with others is just it's the great thing about social media and working online. And there is a real plus to having a following, is that you can lead from the front and really make a difference to people's lives.
What what was the lowest point? So you said Boxing Day, which I think is our Christmas, am I right?
Yeah, yeah,
Okay,
yeah,
just
yeah.
making sure. Was there something in that moment? Was it like a persistent feeling you were getting? Was there a voice you heard? Was there anything that was just this moment of recognition for you that said, "I have to change"?
Yeah, I think I knew it was coming because I felt anxious about the fact that I knew I was stopping myself. My partner's very honest, and he was, lovingly showing me support, but also, expecting or talking to me in ways that, Justine, you're better than this. And it was like I had to hear it a few times, and I'd go, "Oh, shut up! I'm not ready to hear it. I'm not ready to hear it." And then I think it was, yeah, Boxing Day, when I woke up in the morning and I turned to him and I just started crying and I said, "I can't do this anymore." And I'm going to get emotional now.
Oh,
Um, yeah, it was huge. It was huge, and he just hugged me, and yeah, we just,
yeah.
yeah,
Well, it's hard, as a fitness person myself, it's hard because people around you will kind of judge anyway, right?
yeah,
They kind of they have this judgment that you know everything or that you don't need any help, and you did need help. You
oh
did
yeah,
need,
yeah,
and so it's good that you have found that. It's good that you have an amazing partner, right? Kudos. Um and you are on the other side of that. Do you feel that, is alcohol now something you don't think you're going to touch anymore?
this is sort of where I'm at the moment with it. I don't know. I don't want to go near it at the moment. I'm just in complete flow and alignment, and I feel like feeling good is more important to me right now. And I want to stay focused. And the momentum that I'm building within myself and within my business is it. I don't want to hinder that at the moment.
Yeah.
So. I don't never say never. I do hope that there'll be a time when I can have a glass of red wine with Sean and at dinner, and we can, so at the moment, I'm not saying no. I'm not saying yes.
You're just being
I'm
present,
just
which is
intuitively,
wonderful.
yeah,
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 absolutely. One of our listeners, Debbie, has a question. So, what is your daily routine, or what are your rituals? Anything that you can share with the listeners.
yeah, definitely. I've started the thing with the alcohol. It was actually inhibiting these rituals that were. I knew about this is the stuff that I was telling my clients to do. But if I'd had a glass of wine, I wouldn't go and pour myself a bath, or I wouldn't go for a walk, or I wouldn't, meditate or do some journaling because it changes your state instantly. So since I made the change and the decision, I'm getting up in the morning, I'm meditating, I'm doing more stretching, more breath work, getting out into nature, having baths with salts in them and candles and listening to music or and yeah, it's just those small things. Doing lots of journaling. I've got my little mum boss lady journal here, so um, doing lots of journaling and yeah, that's sort of what I'm. It's great to feel in alignment with what I preach, and this is the thing. I'm literally preaching what I'm doing now, and for a couple of years there, I knew what I needed to do, and I could help other people do it. I just couldn't help myself. So
Yeah.
it's an empowering feeling to get to that stage where you're changing your own life and empowering yourself and stepping into your own power, but then have the ability to do the same for women. And when you're in alignment, I feel like I've got the whip out now. I'm like, Juzzie's kind of got the whip out and she's ready to really just, say some hard truths. If it's what women need, um, I'm going to say it in a loving way and with all the greatness that I can because I just want the best for people.
Yeah,
Mm.
yeah, very, very powerful. And now you have children. How did this impact your relationship with your children? And, now what is it like? Share that because, we have a lot of moms out there, and it has been difficult for women and families. We can't just say women, but for people to balance the financial stress, the at-home stress, the taking care of the children. So share with us, how's that relationship with your children then, now, anything that you can share.
Yeah, definitely. I feel like it's made me a calmer, more present, more fun mum. Like last year, moving in with my partner and taking on his son. So Mason's 9 and Leo, my son, is 7. And so I had the transition of a blended family going on top of everything else. And anyone would know that that transition can be quite challenging. There's lots of things that come into play that you've got to recognize and acknowledge, and it takes a lot of communication between the partners as well, and understanding and softening, and so there was a lot of juggling going on there, but we got there in the end, and I believe that it just continues to grow and get stronger. But I was frazzled last year. I was resentful towards Sean, and feeling like I'd been things were unfair, that I was taking on too much that I couldn't handle, and I could handle it, but I just wasn't willing to handle it because I had so much going on. And I'd pick the kids up from school, come home, get dinner ready, have a glass of wine, and that would make me fun mum. And but it wasn't energetically the fun mum, that I wanted to be. So this year, I've noticed that I'm coming. I'm the same mum, but I'm present, and I'm genuinely happy. Like, to have a genuine happiness, and if the kids react or do something silly, I don't go ah. I breathe and I talk to them, and I just feel like I've got everything going on in the right order, and it's not completely dispersed, and I'm not screaming at them or crying, and then Sean walks in the door and I'm like like it's because I've had a shit day. It's the complete opposite now, so it's changed everything for me.
Yeah, and I think I find that children are just naturally very intuitive, right? They just pick up on energy.
Yeah,
And so
definitely.
I think when, the wine is in it, it does. It changes the chemistry, it changes the energy. They could probably feel it. So do you feel like, I mean, and like, do you feel like there's more trust they have with you now? Do you understand what I mean with that?
Yeah, I mean, it's funny actually. I still use the wine glasses without the stems for my Coke or Coke Zero or
Yeah,
my
yeah.
lemon water. So the other day I pulled that out and I poured myself a Coke Zero, and Leo goes, "Mum, is that your new wine?" And he's 7, so he's got such a big memory of wine. And I thought to myself, I laughed, and then I was like, oh man, like my 7-year-old knows that I drink wine. He doesn't know what it does to me, but it's ingrained in my 7-year-old's mind that that's what mum does or did. And so yeah, I think they know, and he's my son especially, because he's been with me, obviously from the start, and been through a lot together, him and I, when I was a single mum back in Melbourne and stuff. So I feel like, yeah, I mean, kids are kids; they're pretty resilient, but I do think that there's a definite energy shift,
Yeah.
because they can feel that I'm calmer, and I'm genuinely like, there for them and happy.
Yeah, that's really wonderful. Any goals for yourself? So we want to build your business. You're going to get back into it, and you've got this fit health mom, MUM, which is so cute. Just what is that? Tell us about that and share
Cool.
with us, please.
Yeah, definitely. So, Fit Healthy Mums was my first online program that I created. I did that, you'll never believe, from the couch while I was breastfeeding Leo. It took me about 6 months to create, and I invested a lot of money, because back then, 7 years ago, the online world wasn't like it was today. And I launched that when Leo was 6 months old, and then and that blew up straight away, which was great because there wasn't a lot of competition around in regards to pre and postnatal programs. But then as the market got saturated, I had to evolve the program, and I transformed that into Mind Body Overhaul, where I started doing some more one-to-one online coaching with women via Zoom. And I took on a smaller group, so like 20 to 30 women each time, and we did 8-week blocks. And that's when I really got stuck in and did a lot of coaching online with women, and that was amazing. That was great. And then as after I broke my foot and I lost my confidence, and I just started not having the urge and the push and the desire. Social media can be really hard when you're struggling, and if you run your business on social media, you have to show up and you have to give, and if you've got nothing to give, it can be really, really soul destroying and really hard. So I pulled right back on the push, and I just did what I had to do to get by. And then when I moved back to New Zealand, I was like, I don't want to be in the fitness industry anymore. I don't want to be on social media anymore. And I was literally ready to throw it all in, because I was just I'd lost my way completely. And then when we got back and lockdown happened, I was doing workouts in my backyard for free, and I was live streaming them and sharing them. And then I was like, I can't give this up. Like, I love this, like I love helping people. So that's when I created FEM, which stands for Female Empowerment Movement Mindset and Education. And that's my company name here in New Zealand now. And that started last year with different programs that we ran towards the end of last year that I didn't really push, and I made it really cheap and affordable for women because of COVID. And I just wanted to integrate fun and flexibility and interaction, because it was all live streams and stuff. So yeah,
Oh, that's really great. That's really,
yeah,
and I'm sure it's, it is that story of getting right back to your purpose, right? You tried to
yeah,
leave your purpose and they're like, "Nope."
yeah,
Get right back
definitely.
into it. One of the watchers, they want to know, like, what's your favorite kind of healthy food? What's if we had to go for healthy foods, what's on your list?
Definitely. Okay, so I'm a creature of habit. I'm a polytarian, so I don't eat red meat and I don't eat seafood. So I get my protein from chicken and eggs. I love eating like protein pancakes, smoothies. I love anything salad and chicken based, like wraps, or just a salad on its own with some sweet potato, oats with protein powder. Dinners for us are always vegetables and protein. I'm usually giving the boys sort of bread rolls and pasta, and I'll just have more salads and vegetables and that sort of stuff. So I've not I don't want to say trained myself, because I love how I feel through what I eat, but I don't have a sweet tooth, and I'm more a savory person, so I love cheese and that sort of stuff. So those are my staple go to meals really. And we've got dark chocolate, so if I feel like something, I'll have some dark chocolate. But I've my self control is great. We've got 2 bottles of wine in the fridge that have been there since last year, that I haven't gone near, and we've got a block of chocolate in there as well that I haven't really opened. So I think there's a switch in me when I know I'm nourishing my body. I eat enough throughout the day so I don't have those urges to go and binge on things. And I've got a really strong mindset when it comes to, if I make a decision, I'm like, nah, I'm not going to have that. And that's okay, because I'd rather have something else that fuels me and makes me feel, healthy and vibrant, and feeling good and energetic and lighter is the most amazing feeling. And I'll just add to that, since I stopped drinking wine, I lost 2 kilos. So this is inflammation, bloating, puffiness that we don't realize that we carry when we drink alcohol and have toxicity in our body, and our bodies aren't functioning well. Everything goes through the liver, and I wasn't striving to drop that weight. It's just the way it was. And I think going through that process, I'm like, wow, women need to experience this just to see what their bodies would look like and feel like without alcohol getting in the way. And that's when I created Fem30. So as you'll notice, everything's always in alignment with what I go through, what I learn. And the 30-day program that we launched this week is, 30 days to reset, recharge, and rejuvenate. So I'm really encouraging my clients to go alcohol free for 30 days.
Yeah, that's really great. And it's something that anyone can do anywhere around the world, which is also
Mm.
pretty fantastic, right?
Yeah, definitely.
What are, just so the listeners at home, two things. One is, if how would they know if they're struggling? What are some feelings? What are some emotions? Like, take us back, if you can, into memory to how you were
Yeah.
feeling. I want you to then share with us, what do you do now? Like, how's that feeling now to kind of reset now? What is it you do now in
Yeah,
contrast?
yeah, definitely. Great question. I think we know when we're out of alignment. You get a tuning in your stomach, you feel anxious, you're short of breath, those sorts of things, and you shy away. So you're not stepping forward to have conversations with people, or you're not really putting yourself out there. You sort of go quiet and withdrawn, and that's what I was doing for those 2 years, give or take, where I was really struggling. And now I think, being completely conscious and aware of your thoughts and feelings and your physical body changes everything. Like, I can get frustrated, but within like a couple of minutes, I'm back in, and I'm just focusing on what I'm grateful for, what's going on, the positives. I'm not dwelling on silly little things or fear. I used to be really scared of judgment. My whole life I've been a people pleaser, and having a life on social media can make that really difficult as well, because you feel like you need to show up in a certain way. So I was very scared of offending people, and always sort of questioning, oh, should I have said that? Oh, should I say this? Should I post that? Should I do? I'm going to upset someone, So I'm having these conversations with myself. Whereas now I don't have that chitter chatter and worry about anyone else, because I'm in complete control of what I'm saying and what I'm feeling, and what I say is true to me. Does that make sense? So
Yeah.
it's yeah.
And so now, though, let's say you're feeling stressed, or you just worked out really hard. What are some things you do to kind of reset your body now?
Yeah, definitely. So stretching, going for a walk. I've got a lady who does the yoga and breath work within my Fem30. So she's done some videos. So I'll just put her on in my lounge, roll out the mat, do some stretching. Obviously, I'm doing the Gabby Bernstein. That's how we met. And I've got her meditation. So if I'm feeling into a feeling, I'll go into the bank of meditations, and I'll find something that resonates and sit on my little meditation cushion, and just, and take 10 minutes aside to do that. I'll have a bath. I'll even just go outside and sit on the grass and just be like, you know, shake it off, like let it go, let it go. Yeah.
Angel has a question. She wants to know, do you do any juicing, and if so, do you have any favorite juices?
Yeah, I'm not like, I think they have their part. And I was having a conversation with my surgeon's wife the other day actually about juicing. And I think it's definitely good to cleanse and detoxify the body. It just becomes a bit, you know, iffy for me when it becomes a bit of a fad and we're relying on not eating to burn calories and lose weight, because we want to be able to lose weight or drop body fat from eating food. That's the best way to do it, and to maintain it for long term. So I love smoothies. Every morning I have a smoothie. My go-to smoothie at the moment is just half a banana, some fiber, so some linseed almond. I don't know if you get that in America, but it's like a fiber mix that you can have. I usually just have ice and water. I'll have some vegan protein. I'll chuck in ice. What else do I put in there? That's usually my sort of morning go-to. Oh, some collagen powder, good for the skin. And that's my sort of go-to. But yeah, like I say, it's all well and good to do those things, but I feel like we need to teach people how to eat well. And if you need a kickstart, definitely, maybe do a 24 to 48 hour juice fast if you feel like that's going to help. But then you've got to be able to integrate the food that you need to start eating back in without overdoing it, so that you're going to feel bloated and lethargic and gain the weight, and you've gained nothing in the end. So you end up going around in circles.
Yeah, that's interesting. I always feel like in the spiritual community, and this is for me personally as well. I can't, again, it doesn't mean it's for everyone, but I don't eat red meat myself
Mm,
because I actually feel like it's heavy on the system.
mm,
I almost feel like it kind of grounds the energy. So you
yeah.
said you don't eat red meat either. Do you
Mm.
feel like it impacts your energy if you do, or
Yeah,
when you
well,
did?
yeah, I did. I stopped when I was 14, and I don't know how. So I'm nearly 41, so work that out. That's how long I haven't had red meat. So, but just from research and understanding the human body, it slows your digestive system right down. So if you're constantly putting in red meat, it makes it really hard for your digestive system to break it down, and that's going to make you tired. And if it stays in your gut and you're not excreting the things that you need to, it can start to get toxic, and that's when you get bloated, and you can have all sorts of issues going on. So it's really important that you do cleanse the gut, and to do that, you need to go through a process. I did used to go to Thailand when I was how many years ago. I used to go once a year and do a week health cleanse detox there, and that used to sort of reboot me. So I would fast for a week and have juice and all that sort of stuff, colonic irrigation, and that sort of once a year was like taking my car, but me, in for a service, and we would do yoga and meditation. So that I was amazed when I first did that to find out how unhealthy I actually was inside, and that's helped, I guess, from then on. Now I just keep putting the good stuff in, and my health and everything has soared since I did those things. So I definitely see a place for them, and I'm not saying not to do those things, but it is best to check with a healthcare professional, or see someone who's going to give you the advice if you need help with bloating, inflammation, anything that's going on internally. It's really hard just to guess or Google what's going on, the problem with Google at the moment. So, but it's really good to also, like, for me, I know my body so well.
Yeah.
So when something's not right, I know straight away, whereas a lot of people don't know. So they keep doing the same thing.
What about probiotics? Do you use probiotics? Do you have a favorite brand, or is it just like, hey, it doesn't really matter which one I take?
No, yeah, definitely. So I take a probiotic. It's actually from Arbonne. It's a sachet one. So I think you've got Arbonne in the States as well. My friend works for them, and I just put the little sachet in my morning smoothie, and I have it every day. So it's really important, with everything, with medications, and if you're taking, any sort of pill form antibiotics, that we do counteract that with probiotics every day. Definitely.
Okay. And then one more here. I kind of wish I had this problem, but I don't. So it's from a listener. She actually has a hard time gaining weight. So,
Yeah.
what would again, so we as women, a lot of us, especially as we get older and our hormones, and again, the wine we tend to enjoy,
Mm.
it makes it hard with the weight. But if you actually need to gain weight, what would you recommend to a client for you?
Yeah, well, I mean, we've all got different body types. So there's women that will struggle to gain weight, and there's women that will struggle to lose weight. We all carry weight in different places. So ectomorphs are the tall, skinny, sort of, shape. And for them, I guess just eating lots of carbohydrates, sticking to weight training, like actually doing weights, not lots of cardio, because if you're doing lots of cardio, that's not going to help you put on some, shape. It's not about getting massive. I've been lifting weights now for 15 years and I'm not big at all. Like, I'm very petite and women are scared to get in and lift weights. Whereas I believe that there's so many benefits, for healthy bones, healthy body. I've got shape now, I've got a bit of a booty from squats and things. So you can sort of develop a nice shapely body just from doing weight training, and that'll help you. So just making sure that you have complex carbohydrates after you weight train, that you're eating enough, 2,000 calories for someone, 18 to 2,000 calories is probably what I eat a day. A lot of women from my research with my clients tend to eat half of that. So they'll eat 1,000 calories a day, and protein would be like under half of what they need for their daily intake. So I help my clients with their macros, and I show them that they need to increase protein, slowly start to increase calories, and show them that they don't need to starve themselves to lose the weight. So I digressed a little bit there, but it's just from my experience with undereating versus overeating with women as well. So
Oh,
I hope that
yeah.
answers your
It's very,
question.
very helpful, though, especially, because a lot of the listeners are like, hey, that sounds like me, or that sounds like me. Um,
Yeah.
so how about a little mini reading? Do you want a little mini reading?
Oh, I'd love one.
Yeah. All right. So we'll go psychic. How's that? You kind of
Okay.
knowing about your life and what's coming in. Okay. So there's just a couple things. If a couple things I keep getting, I absolutely do feel your business is 100% going to just explode. And I honestly feel like a lot of it has to do with this story because
Mm,
so many people can connect and relate to this story. Okay.
mhm,
And
mm,
so don't be afraid to share the story. Don't be afraid to kind of put it out there because I feel like then people say she knows what it's like. She's been
yeah.
through this.
Mm, mm,
And I feel like I see a program that you are going to create. So you've got this kind of fitness program, but I actually see a television program that you're going to create. So I
oh, wow.
feel like it's something on screen that you're going to
Yeah.
be invited to do or put something together. So I feel like that's going to come up even in the next year or two is coming up for you.
Wow.
Okay. And I feel like with your partner, I do feel like this is an amazing relationship. I do feel like he's in it for the long haul, which is very exciting. And I think it was hard on him. So maybe one of the things to do is to open up lines of communication just because I do feel like I think there was a time like he didn't know it's almost like he didn't know what to say or how to say it and it was really uncomfortable, but he did it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I feel like, you being in the place you're in brings you two closer together
Yeah.
and it's also interesting. Have you Okay, so there is some baby feelings. So have you thought of I'm just saying. I'm usually a good baby predictor. So
Okay.
have we cuz I really feel like a girl's coming in. So
Oh,
have
wow.
we even entertained that idea?
Oh, we've sort of shut it down, but then we might have a little bit of a scare, and then it's like excitement sort of, and then it's not, and then so we don't know. I think the thing with us is because we've both been single parents, is that we want to nourish and enjoy our relationship, and I don't want something else to take my focus. So it's given me and Sean the time to really build a really solid relationship that hasn't been easy, but we've been mirrors for each other. So it's like whatever's needs working on, it's going to get worked on right here, right now, and we're going to get through this together. And he's taught me more than he would ever know. He's been very, very good for me, patient, calm, loving, and just keeps showing up. Frustrating as well because he's very fiery, and I'm not used to that, and I'm an empath. But like we're navigating, and it magically works. It just is amazing. So I'm very
Well, it
lucky.
may magically have a baby. You may be I want you to make sure you email me and let me know and say, "Guess what, folks? Guess what? It was
All
it,
right.
it was it was enough bonding time."
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
um
That's the thing. Yeah.
Honestly, because I feel like he would be, just wonderful, with a daughter. I just feel like there's something about that kind of feminine
Mm,
energy. I think the boys would love it as well.
yeah.
But I just feel like for you, it's a place where I just see you kind of taking where you are now and it just goes further. It's like it
Mm,
really comes to a place where you are not only just speaking your truth, you're actually very confident or comfortable in that truth. Do you know what I mean?
Mm.
And it really
Yeah.
gives me this sense where I feel like that's really going to expand, and just your following is really, really, really going to grow. And I really have this odd feeling that Sean may go into business with you. So maybe there's something that you somehow do together. Have you thought about that?
Yeah. Property, because he's a builder, so
Okay.
we want to do, and he wants to build and renovate, and I can do the interior design, somehow learn how to do that, which we've just gone through renovations in our house, and I'm learning that I can't do the renovation part. I've tried and broken things and just gotten in his way, so I'll stick to the interior design.
Okay, good. One of the listeners says Colby is usually correct on babies, which
uh, he'll watch this and he'll be like, oh my
no,
god.
I think he's more ready than you realize. I feel
Oh,
like
that's
he, yeah, and I feel like this experience that you have been through has just brought you closer together and even more intimate. And at this point there's really nothing that can divide you, right? It's like
no.
you've
Yeah.
been through it all, and so I
Mm.
feel like there's just that connection that is absolutely going to get stronger and stronger. So, do you have any questions you want to ask me while you got it hot?
Oh, yeah, I'm like, whew, this is no, that's great. You're very right. It's already massively changed our relationship and how we communicate and how we, he's stepping up and doing some things that I would never expect or think that he would do, and he's doing them willingly because he wants to become a better version of himself and for his for Leo and Mason, and for me as well. So I'm very proud of him for that. But no, yeah. I don't think I've got any questions.
You're
Thank you.
doing really great. I feel like you're on a journey that is just keep stepping into that power, right? Really keep shining your light, as I like to say to everyone. Shine your light and shine it bright. And you are doing
Yeah.
that. And I feel like you are helping so many women, you know, and people really kind of get to the best versions of themselves, and to be able to
Mm,
do it unapologetically, and to be able to kind of
yeah.
shed all the layers. As you said, it's interesting, if we give up alcohol and the toxins, what would our body look like? And,
Mm,
but there's a lot of times maybe we emotionally eat or emotionally drink, or
mm,
the trauma
mm.
that we experience, or, just kind of hiding from reality sometimes, right?
Yeah,
And
yeah.
sometimes you just like a good cocktail.
Definitely. Yeah, I think, self-sabotage can come in the form of limiting beliefs, your inner thoughts. It could be food, it could be alcohol. There's something that we use as a crutch. It doesn't, drugs, whatever it is. And, once you realize that what it is that's holding you back, you can do the work to overcome it. And it's not an easy process. It's very lonely, it's uncomfortable, it can be painful, but, from personal experience, you keep pushing yourself to get to that point, and you'll have a breaking point, and at that breaking point you'll have a breakthrough, and once you've had that breakthrough, it's like nothing can stop you. So whatever area in your life you need to focus on, relationships, career, your mum life, your personal development, you'll just start to soar, and everything will make sense, and you'll be grateful for the downtime, for the times where you felt the lowest, because feeling happy and completely elated, you can only feel that way and know what that feels like when you've been rock bottom. So
And as an empath, you feel the feelings of others, right? And you're very sensitive. How does that impact you now?
yeah, well, I've always, yeah, felt into other people and how they feel or treat me or what they say. Like I don't watch a lot of the news. I don't see what's going on in the world. I try to really focus on what's right in front of me, and it's really helped, because if I start reading too many posts on Facebook about what's going on in the world, or watch the news, and I just start feeling really heavy, and I'm like, oh, like, I can't do this. So as soon as I stay in my own lane and make that decision, to not look at the things that I know that I'll feel into and feel awful, and I can't help these people, and how am I going to help them? Oh, the world's, I just focus on what I can control, and that's me, and the power that I have with the voice that I have on my social media platforms, and with my clients, and within those people around me. So yeah, I just try, I guess now I just put a little blanket around me when I don't want to feel into anything, and I just try and remember that it's not my stuff, it's not my stuff, it's not my
Right.
stuff.
Yeah, exactly. A friend of mine a long, long time ago gave me this trick to turn your mirrors out, right? So that they are
Yeah.
forced to look at themselves and you don't absorb that energy. Because your emotions can ride on the energy of someone else, right? As you know.
Absolutely.
So
Yeah.
I just want to take a moment to show the listeners, you guys, this is Justine's little resume here. She is the founder of the Fit Healthy Moms, a TV presenter, fitness expert for Body Blade, online fitness and health instructor, obviously as a three-time magazine cover. You can see that this lady absolutely knows what she is doing. Justine, it has just been such an honor to have you here and to have you share your story so organically with us. And I just appreciate it so much because, I know this is going to help so many women out there.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Like I believe, like you say, you saw my post, and this is happening now, and you don't even realize how much that email that you sent me was like. I had another moment where I'm like, wow, the power of just being your true self and showing up and being vulnerable and speaking your truth. There's so much power in it. So it doesn't mean you have to share your story with the world, but just with those around you. But first and foremost, you've got to be honest with yourself.
Yeah, absolutely. So, we talked about this social media following and your website. Let's give everyone what is your social media handle on Instagram and Facebook?
It's just my name. So Justine on Instagram, it's Justine_Switalla. So SWITALLA. On Facebook, it's Justine Switalla as well. And my website is justineswitalla.com. So very easy to remember. And yeah, I interact on Instagram a lot. So I'm sharing lots of reels and information on recipes and videos, training videos, and mindset tips and everything through there as well. So
Perfect. And for you viewers out there, you can see her name right there, easy peasy to spell. Justine, I just want to thank you again. It really has been a pleasure. We'll have you back on, and I certainly hope we can meet up when I get to New Zealand next year.
absolutely. Thank you so much, Colby. I really appreciate your time, and to everyone listening and watching. Yeah, thank you so much. So,
Thank you so
yeah.
much. Have a beautiful day, and I will talk to you later. Thank you.
Thanks, Colby.
Thank you for listening to the Colby Rebel Show. Be sure to follow Colby on social media at Psychic Rebel. And if you've enjoyed this podcast, please head on over to iTunes to leave a review to help Colby grow the tribe. Colby is an international psychic medium, teacher, best-selling author, and speaker. She is a master teacher of the Lisa Williams International School of Spiritual Development and is the owner of the Colby Rebel Spirit Center in Los Angeles. Visit colbyrebel.com.